This is Ford Takeaway, sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealers.
On Monday, Kellen Moore chose not to make his quarterback decision. Not yet. He might or might not change his starter for Sunday against the Rams. But I can tell you, if the play calling doesn't change, the results won't change either. The Saints scored 3 points Sunday, the lowest of any team in the NFL this week. And it's a shame because the defense was great. Why were they great? I think it's the Chase Young effect. Young is healthy and fully up to speed. He had a sack and a half, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And I think he makes everyone better. He just causes havoc, and he draws extra attention, which frees up other guys. Baker Mayfield was harassed all day. Tampa Bay was averaging 339 yards a game. The Saints defense, while getting no help from the offense, gave up 212 yards to Tampa Bay Sunday. The Saints held the Bucs 127 yards under their average and still lost the game by 20. That's how bad the Saints offense was. Now I'm going to break down the offensive issues into 2 parts. First, the execution by the players was awful. 4 turnovers. Spencer Rattler's pick 6 to Anthony Nelson was just a terrible pass. And Rattler and Rashid Shaheed got stripped. Plus Chris Olave just had 1 ball pulled right out of his arms. Those aren't coaching mistakes. These are 4 preventable turnovers. By the way, 4 last week, 4 this week. The Saints are now tied for the second most giveaways in the NFL this season. Number 2 with a bullet. Add in the drop passes and the penalties. Even a well-called game would have been ruined by the execution. But this was not a well-called offensive football game. First of all, the Saints ran 71 offensive plays. You know the run-pass balance? They called 62 passes and 9 runs on a team that's top 10 in the NFL in drop passes. How does that make sense? Alvin Kamara ran the ball 6 times. How does that make sense? And once again, there was no emphasis on getting the ball downfield. The Saints are last in the NFL in explosive pass plays and at 0, last in the NFL in explosive run plays. They're 29th in scoring at just 16 points a game, but 7th in the NFL now in most penalties. Kellen Moore has been calling plays all season like the Saints are protecting a lead. And if he doesn't do better, it won't matter who's playing quarterback. And at number 1, it is time to think of the future. The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday, November 4th. 3 Saints are generating the most trade buzz right now. That's wideouts Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and linebacker Pete Werner. You're already developing linebackers Stutzman and Stallbird behind Werner, and with Olave and Shaheed, you're not getting explosive plays from them anyway. If you can get a decent return for any of these 3 guys, trade them. The Saints need more draft picks, and speaking of which, a Jets win means the Saints now have the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. It's the ultimate booby prize in sports, because to get the number 1 pick, you have to suffer through miserable games like the one we saw Sunday, but it is something. And that's my 4 takeaways from the miserable offensive performance against the Bucs.